Hi, I'm James, founder and director of the Terrify Film Festival, and Terrify 2023 kicks off tomorrow with our blockbuster horror premiere, Five Nights at Freddy's, in Wellington, Auckland and Christchurch. We then stay in Wellington until the 29th at the Roxy, heading up to Auckland for the rest of the festival from the 2nd to the 5th of November, and then down to Christchurch for the rest of the festival from the 9th to the 14th of November. Grab your tickets at terrifyfest.com. I'm joined by Sam Braun today. Sam is our new programmer and producer of Terrify. She's based in Toronto, but in New Zealand for the festival. And she's kindly offered to be an interviewer today for our little Q&A ahead of the festival and to grill me on all things Terrify.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I can't wait to see you all at all our wonderful cinemas this year and welcome me into New Zealand. It's been an amazing time so far. And yeah, I can't wait for the festival to kick off. One of our Canadian films this year, Red Rooms, is in our lineup this year, and we're very excited. Shout out to my fellow Canadians. It won Best Picture at Fantasia 2023 and is now at Terrify. What should the audience expect from this film, and what would they take away from it?
I'd heard a lot about this film before we took it. It opened Fantasia Film Festival and won Best Picture there, so we were pretty excited by it. Sometimes, these films garnish awards and then you watch them and you're like, oh, they're okay. This one was completely thrilling. I loved it. It had you on the edge of the seat. You didn't know where it was going. There's some superb lead performances in it. It kind of keeps you guessing, as I said. So it was kind of like one of those films where you watch it and you're not even distracted by anything. You're not checking your phone, you're not doing anything as we watch screeners often on a television. And that's often a sign of a good film. Like you're watching it on a TV, which is not in the cinema, and you are utterly gripped. You feel like you're in the cinema and you do not want to take your eyes off the screen. And Red Rooms is just one of those films.
There's a wide range of genres in the program this year. Tell us how you balance out the lineup and how do you make it all work?
I've always sort of wanted Terrify to be really eclectic. It's not just horror, thriller and sci-fi. I've always looked at programming the festival, or we now looked at programming the festival there's something for everybody. Like even if you're not a fan of a particular genre, there'll always be one film in the lineup that you can always go and see, rather than it being sort of like heavily skewed one way or the other. And so we do balance those out by finding really interesting films and looking at things that are slightly offbeat. Like, so when we go comedy, for example, something like Hundreds of Beavers, which is utterly hilarious, but very offbeat and very unique. So that's a comedy film, but it is very much in our sort of wheelhouse around that. And then, looking at stuff that kind of like fills the program out. So also those fan badges who come along and go to every single film, don't get bored. They're not like, oh, we've got 5 horrors in a row. So you kind of want to balance that out as well. And really it's about making sure that everyone can come along and have a great time.
Yeah, something for everybody. Hundreds of Beavers is a very unique film, and it will leave the audience remembering it for years to come. Tell us how you discovered this film.
Hundreds of Beavers is an interesting one. It is a truly unique creative vision. The team have never laughed so hard watching a screener ever at Terrify. It's like Looney Tunes meets Charlie Chaplin meets Benny Hill meets Adult Swim. There's nothing quite like it. But the way we found it, actually, I ended up buying a movie called Lake Michigan Monster on Blu-ray and absolutely loved it. It was by this little team in America that just made this sort of, it was almost like a home movie, but it was just so unique and clever. And so I ended up following them and then found out that they'd made Hundreds of Beavers and it got picked up and it played a bunch of festivals and I just couldn't wait to see it. And we were very fortunate that a good friend of ours, Kurt Cooper, works for Raven Banner in Canada, and they picked up the film and I was able to just message him straight away and say, hey, I'm really interested in this film. Would you give it to us? And their answer was yes. And so we were really excited to get it.
We have a Joe Lynch film this year called Suitable Flesh with Heather Graham. And this title is an exciting title, but we did get it last minute. So how do you keep up with the titles available and when they come in and when we can program it and all that jazz?
Look, the joys of programming a festival, you have a whole bunch of titles in mind. Some you don't even think you're going to get, like this one in particular. But we program the festival and then things change. Things change often at the last minute. So we had a number of titles that were then suddenly pushed to 2024, even as much as a day before tickets launch. And so it leaves us with sort of a laundry list of titles that we want to go after, but often we don't even know if somebody's got them for Australia and New Zealand. And we were very fortunate that Suitable Flesh was, when we rang around the distributors going, hey, we've got a gap. We really want something awesome, that they offered that to us. They'd literally picked it up the day before. They didn't even have the film in their midst, but they said, we've got it, you can have it. And I was like, that's fantastic. And we have this list of films that every year we put them together after we see festival lineups come out or buzz come out, and it was on that list, and that's where we try and target first. But we were very fortunate that Rialto Distribution picked it up the day before we asked for it.
Let's talk about our late night screener, Megalomaniac. It is our controversial film this year that touches in on physical and emotional abuse, the duality between nature versus nurture, and mental health. Tell us how we navigate through the controversial element of a film and the steps and the process for that.
Yeah, look, we're not afraid to play controversial films. I think you always have to approach them with caution. We were very fortunate to meet the filmmaker at Cannes and have a chat with him about it. I was very excited that we'd met him for a start because I'd heard about the film. But obviously, knowing what it was, knowing that it had some controversy around it, we wanted to see it first. And we made sure that the whole team watched it, including Sam, to get a sort of a wide range of views on it. And everybody universally loved it. But it does touch on some very interesting topics. And I think the key to that is playing it later at night, which is important, and obviously talking before the screening about it and some of the subjects that it's going to touch on, and having people available to talk to if somebody is triggered by that. We want to put as many sort of safety nets around it.
Yeah, it's being sensitive.
It's being sensitive to it, but these sorts of films, they don't make films like this anymore. It's really an amazing movie, and the lead actor in it, she is absolutely incredible. If we had a Best Actor award, she'd win it hands down. So I think, given that it touches on these subjects, but it has something to say as a film. It's not like we're playing something that clearly is just about, being controversial or showing these scenes. It actually has something to say, and it really has a story behind it. And I think that's kind of the deciding factor on whether we play it. And then we sort of put all the sort of safety nets around it and make sure that it's programmed at an appropriate time and not playing it at 4:00 on a Saturday afternoon. But it is a film that, we really felt deserved to be in the lineup and deserves to be seen. So that was kind of why we chose it.
We have an amazing group of horror films this year, and they're all different from one another, and they all bring something different to the table. In your opinion, what makes a really good horror film?
Obviously, it's what I think is a really good horror film is very different to what maybe others think, but I always love films that have a story to tell. Either a unique, fresh take on something, or do a genre, a style of horror really, really exceptionally well. When Evil Lurks is the way a possession film should be made. It's gripping, it's intense, and it's just a beautiful piece of filmmaking. But it doesn't lack in story. It's a great tale. And Birth Rebirth is another one which touches on motherhood and raising children and pregnancy and subjects like that. So for me, it's something that has a really interesting story to tell. The Birth Rebirth also is kind of a twisted take on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein tale, which we've seen a few times before, but not in this way. So it's kind of like that's quite a unique one. And I think horror comes in all shapes and sizes. I think you don't want to program all the same styles. So it's not like jump scares or gory or too slow burn, but we try and program quite eclectically around that. But really, they're all interesting stories. They kind of have you gripped at the story, and then everything else sort of falls from there. I guess it's a little cliched to say it's by the story, but really it's the deciding factor for us, and something that completely grips us from start to finish.
We've talked about a range of genre, but we do have this one film that is truly a genre-bending film. What is it?
It's Time Addicts out of Australia. It's about two junkie best friends who owe a drug dealer and are asked to steal a bag of narcotics from a derelict house, and those drugs enable you to travel through time. And we follow their adventure as they jump backwards and forwards in time, having taken these drugs. It's a sci-fi, comedy, crime, thriller. It's kind of all of those things. It's very rare for a film to actually pull off a range of genres effectively across all of them, and it was just magnificent. I absolutely loved it, and we had to program it straight away. It is an absolute riot. As I said, it balances those genres beautifully. It is totally thrilling, but you'll be laughing in your seat at the same time. and it pulls off the sci-fi elements really realistically too, and but it's also really heartwarming. It's one of those films you actually come out of it going, oh, that's really lovely in parts, even though it is a little twisted. So it's quite a rare find for a film like that. So we're really excited to have it as part of the program and have the New Zealand premiere of it.
We've expanded our short film program this year to international and New Zealand filmmakers. Why did we decide to expand?
The short film showcase has always been a wonderful part of Terrify, and we've been very fortunate to have some incredible New Zealand films as part of that and showcase some really awesome upcoming talent. And now we're in a position that we can actually expand it out and bring international filmmakers in as well. And so that's what we did. So it's expanded to 90 minutes, and we've got a wonderful range of films. We've got 3 New Zealand films for 45 minutes and 4 international films at 45 minutes too. A real mix of genres, which is great. So you'll get a real eclectic mix of films, some from new talent, some from existing talent, and really sort of try to mix it up there. But they're all amazing films, deserve to be seen on the big screen. Some of these films, particularly in New Zealand, get made and then just end up being put online. And we really want these filmmakers and people to see, what talent's coming up and follow their careers as they're, amazing filmmakers. And these films are just brilliant, and they're only just the start of where they're going to go. So that's kind of why the showcase is important to us. But also being able to expand it this year is really significant, and we want to keep expanding it in years to come.
This year we have 2 retros, Stargate and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Tell us why retros are important to a film festival.
We've always had retros in Terrify. I love seeing some of these brilliant old films, some of them are fairly recent, but older films on the big screen again. Often we don't, we watch them at home or watch them on TV or on our phones, and they were made for the big screen. That was the whole point they were made for. So it's lovely to bring some of them back. Programming is interesting. Obviously, since COVID, a lot of cinemas have actually played retros, so it's really hard to find really unique retros that haven't played already. And this year, each year we try to sort of stick to a theme, maybe. So we had vampires one year, and this year is kind of sci-fi. Although it's a horror sci-fi comedy with killer clowns, which is such a unique and amazing movie, and deserves to be played on the big screen again. And we've got that as a dress-up night, so come along in your best clown outfit. There'll be prizes for best dressed. And Stargate too, like an incredible film, started off a worldwide phenomenon, probably hasn't played in New Zealand cinemas since it came out in 1994. And it is a film that deserves the silver screen. So that's kind of why we've chosen those ones. But it is more difficult these days because cinemas do play a lot of retros. But I think the 2 we've chosen this year haven't been seen on the screen since they were first released. And that's an awesome thing. So definitely come along to those.
Thanks so much for your time, you guys. I cannot wait for you to see all the amazing films this year at Terrify 2023. And I also personally can't wait to meet all of you guys at Wellington, Auckland, and Christchurch, hosted by the amazing cinemas that we have. And this is going to be such an amazing time, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. It's going to be your first time at Terrify, so I hope you have a great time. We're really excited to bring this lineup to you. To check out all the films, go to terrifyfest.com/films, and you can get all your tickets there too. The lineup this year is pretty special. I know we're pretty biased about that, but it really is our best lineup yet and most diverse lineup yet, and we can't wait for you to see them. It's really as simple as that. So we'll see you in the cinema, and say hi.
Bye, guys.